This is an essay on poetics, short essay. I was told by the organizers of this event, Peter Gizzi and Julian Spar, that my contribution, all of our contributions, were to be under 1,000 words. That was a strict word count that would be enforced. And so this is called 793 words on where things go. And it's old. It makes reference to books that were in progress there and are finished. Finished, published, and remaindered now. Canada, I'd said at the end of my first book, was further north than we'd imagined. And in the second, of the same place, of especially the St. Lawrence River, the first edge of the great covenant with space, the arrangement into here and whatever lies beyond the gestures in its direction. In the third book, I said, I dreamed I saw us on the coast wading in the Atlantic, off Senegal, off Gambia, the coast of beautiful Gabon or Cameroon. I couldn't tell, but there were white people on the cliffs above us, the pale voices clearly phrased in the wind, at our backs as usual. And waking, I saw it had been the dunes on Lake Ontario that I saw. That we'd been at the end of Route 414, at the end of upstate New York, that it was Canada across the water. More ambiguous than we'd thought for an archetype, all invisible, etc., to be so big. The fourth book, the Poetry Book in Progress now, is about Canada, which is the Giscombe book that Keith made reference to. The title of this document's Poetics for Gizzi and Them. I had to save it as something on this disc, and so without effort or particular thought, went right into the voice of my childhood and among the first generation of people born in the North. Where are you going? With Gizzi and Them. For years, I thought I myself had been born down in Birmingham, that my mother bore me in the southern wild, the hell little English boy. But I was born, in fact, as we've all or mostly been, in Ohio. Our parents were from Dixie. They were the last wave of the Great Migration north. The archetype, perhaps its birth, or more correctly, since the archetype is old, its coincidence with my birth, my coming up. No point, though, in trying to face it, the archetype, north, in language or any other means or any other way as some destiny, peculiar, racial, magical, some easy metaphor. Rather, my interest is making use of knowledge about the geographical situation where one is situated in relation to geographic entities, streets, rivers and bridges, embankments, sides of quite real railroad tracks, and coming to terms with that, a poetic of situations, reference, notation, placement. Mary Baraka said something about the slick city people we became. I find myself these days at work on, in addition to poetry, a book of autobiographical travel essays, which seemed to me to be at first at odds with poetry, but it's possible to see them, the essays, as descriptions not of the poem, but of where I was when I was making it. That the motion through landscape is, okay, the poem, and that the essay is a simple-minded map, to paraphrase one of Margaret Atwood's narrators, a simple-minded map to where a vision could be had, not necessarily to the vision itself. The vision itself is a synthesis, a merger, a mixed bag. John Morgan's Beaver poem from his book Intersections, the cells try to come to terms with the site. But the first poem I saw anyone make was in 6th grade at Jane Addams School on the west side of Dayton, Ohio. Our teacher, an unconscionably racist lady of no discernible intellect, could never recollect the name of our classmate, Stevenson Moore, and said one day, out of that exasperation, "I always want to call you Sylvester." To which Stevenson Moore replied, in that first generation growing up in the North lilt, "I always want to call you Dick and Jane." Thus marrying with some precision the most ostentatiously banal named aspect of all our lives in that school to that lady, the representative on earth of those who would perpetrate such banality on us or any group of humans. But didn't he synthesize, revised her statement, by repeating it and taking the proper names of those two literary incorporeals and making them into a title that was at once definitive and significantly destructive, meaning explosive, for the details of that explosion were lost on her. My boy came to terms with the condition, or he brought terms to them. He made the conditions look or sound like him, like all of us. Didn't he deftly transform that innocent little effort to take his name? One book in progress is about specifically black names. This one, Giscombe, up there in Canada. The poem is geographic statement of situation, the path traced by a moving point. The poem faces north as it moves into and out of situations, speaking to them in a language of site specifics.